My name is Mark Hoffines. I was just curious if you guys all received my email this morning from last night. I know this is kind of off topic, but you know,
stay on topic because
well, it still want to state for the record that you know we had an incident where Engstrum, in particular, came down and rousted us and was actually very violent with an animal and very abusive with an animal. And I'd like to make sure it was stated on record and let the public know what's going on because these kind of actions need to stop. Especially just because we're out in the open or we're trying to stay dry underneath a bridge. It's, you know, it's not plausible for us to have any other place without any option. Yeah, I commend your staff, Charlie Dales, on the fact that they're actually working with me on getting a locker house and implement a homeless shelter as well. They're writing that up, and I compliment you guys on that. But this officer actually definitely needs to be reprimanded for his abusive actions, and I just want to state that for the record. Thank you.
good morning.
Sir, you can file a complaint with the independent police review, Mr. Hoffines.
What's that?
You should stop up to the auditor's office and file a complaint with the independent police review.
I will most definitely do that because I do have video footage from up close, and I will actually send it to them as well. Because this is the second time I've actually been harassed by police officers, personally, and
That's how you get it into the record and into the system.
Yeah.
Is to go
Well,
file
I want the public to be aware of it as well. Thank you.
It's Mark Hoffines. Well, Mark J. Hoffines Jr.
Okay, Mark with a K, and how do you spell your last name?
It's HOFHEINS. And J is just single word J.
So you were there yesterday.
Yes, I was there. I was the one filming.
So what happened?
Officer Engstrum himself. Well, yeah, he came down harassing people, you know, trying to get them for any citation, like with their imaginary line, and you know, trying to hold ordinances, etc. Trying to get rouse them up, just, harassing us, saying, "Well, we're going to come through here spraying every day, just to, you know, to get you out of here." Well, which is ridiculous. You know, it's already raining outside. We have nowhere to go. But in that course of that event, what happened is since he couldn't get anybody on anything else, he got so angry and frustrated. He hides his anger really well, but the point of the matter is that he actually was unprovoked when the dog came by, which is actually a service animal, a seizure service animal, required by the owner as an ADA dog to not be on a leash so it doesn't choke him out in a seizure. And he literally, just because he was so frustrated about everything else, he grabbed that dog and literally wrangled it and strangled it as hard as he could, like trying to harm the dog physically. I couldn't believe how bad it was. And when he did it, he wrangled it, and the dog never approached him aggressively. Actually, he was meandering, looking for his owner, making sure he was okay. Never bit him, never did any of that. So when he wrangled him, what he did is he hurried up and put his knee into the dog and started choking the dog out, like trying to choke the dog out. You know, the dog's just trying to get away. We're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? This dog is loving. You know, I know it personally. You know, Pepperoni is the name. And when he was doing that, everybody was just like, hey, it's an ADA dog. It's a dog, you know, for disabilities. You know, leave it be. You know, and that's all they were doing. That's all they were doing. Hey, you know what I mean? This is not right. You shouldn't be doing this, because he literally had to step forward, reach down, and actually grab and wrangle it violently. And
Cops are saying that the dog attacked him.
no, and the raw video shows otherwise, completely otherwise. And you know, and that's what's wrong is they lie about these things, and that's why I was glad to finally get him on footage. And this is a constant thing that happens with us. We're constantly lied about. This is my second involvement. Last time I was arrested for quoting law, and quoting law is not against the law. And so
The mayor has said that he was going to go around and send the police to rouse people out at 7 a.m., right?
Well, waking them up is one thing. But it's like he's waging a war on the homeless, and I keep pushing that issue for a reason, because when you deliberately send them to try to like ticket them or arrest them for any means possible, just because they're homeless and they don't want us out in the limelight, it's not right. They really do that, and when you guys aren't around, when nobody's available, when all the offices are closed, they like to come and harass. I was woken up 4 times a night one time, just so they could harass us and keep us awake and give us sleep deprivation, you know. And they keep enforcing this camping ordinance, even though their own courts have already told them it's not upholdable to homeless, and it's ridiculous how bad it really is getting. It's getting beyond the point of just, hey, let's move them out of the way. No, it's getting violent, and you guys aren't able to see that because they make sure their tactics are that way.
Let me play devil's advocate. Okay?
Most definitely, please.
A lot of taxpayers are sick of homeless people lying on the sidewalk.
Mhm.
They want the mayor to do something about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your response to that?
My response to that is, well, put forth with what I put forth. I put a proposal, which actually Chad is actually going to be writing up. He's working on it right now. It's for a halfway house, a homeless halfway house, and a locker house. It'll alleviate the problems with the homeless debris, etc., and it will also alleviate the possibility of actually people being on the streets involuntarily, because they don't have the opportunity right now. If that halfway house is a step up, annexed to joint, then we can actually work with the people, and they can come down, and they actually already are centralized and located to where they're located, and able to have the resources brought to them, because not a lot of them are able to. A lot of them actually have mental disorders or whatnot, and they don't know how to use these avenues that they keep putting. And they're not really sending these people that they got. They're telling you guys, they're not sending any of the these outreach workers. You know, I actually have to go personally to join and say, hey, Mark, can you guys come down and look for us? And or else they just don't do it. You know, they like to do it in front of the media on the camera, but that's it.
More devil's advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the city built that center near the bus station.
Mm-hmm.
City doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
What's the city supposed to do? I mean, how much more are they supposed to do?
I mean, they have money now. I mean, they have $17 million allocated for homelessness, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, with that $17 million, if it was in my hands, I can guarantee I could end up with one of these abandoned warehouses with a place for these people to sleep. There's showers and food is already covered. As long as we have that possibility for the opportunity to come forth, you know, we can end the homelessness. We can actually
Where's
do
the
it.
17 million from?
It's well, they had found 11 million in the bank account recently, and they said they would put 1 million, and then there was $15 million prior.
Are you talking about the surplus?
Yeah, the
Okay, I thought you
yeah.
meant money that was earmarked for
Yeah,
homelessness.
well,
specifically you're talking
the
about.
surplus is actually they personally said that they were going to put $1 million towards homelessness as well. It's already been said. So that, you know, at least we got there's money out there, and it can be going to these organizations, and I just needed a plan and action, and that's what I'm putting forth to them. You know, and to end this war against the homeless for no reason. It's just a political war. It's ridiculous. You know, I mean, there's so much violence out there, and see, we're more afraid of the police than we are of our own street gangs. That's sad.
Seems like if they roust you out of one spot,
Mm-hmm.
people are just going to move to the next spot.
That's exactly it. I mean, what's the point of shuffling around? You know, make a solution. That's what needs to happen. You know, because I'm getting emotional because I get frustrated with how much stuff I see personally put against to these people without any justification, with zero justification. You know, they don't need to continuously. I mean, jails and institutions are not resolutions. You know, all that is a problem.
Well, let me ask you, because people at home are going to want to know.
No, most definitely.
You seem like an intelligent guy, you know. Why don't you get a job? You know, that's the question I'm going to ask. You know, it's
I can tell you my reasoning why I don't have a job. I'm out here on the streets because DHS. Because I jumped through every single one of their hoops, it leaves 2 unavailable. If I had the opportunity to get a job, I would. So I'm left trying to fight for my daughter and doing everything, their treatment programs, et cetera. I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't even do any of that. I don't smoke pot, nothing. And I sit there and I do everything that they ask me to do, but yet I'm still stuck out here.
Why is DHS keeping you from getting a job?
Because of how my treatment and all the involvement I am involved with all their requirements for me through the courts actually makes it to where I'm unemployable.
So
Absolutely unemployable.
how did you get in front of the courts? I mean, did you have some history, obviously?
It was the mother. The mother tested positive, and so they ended up throwing me in the case. Had they not taken my daughter, I would still be in my RV, which was a 27-foot with one bedroom, 1 kitchen, 1 living room, on a lot with full sewage, full plumbing, full electricity. But because I don't have my, even if I was unemployed then, I still have my TANF and food stamps that would cover me until I could do something else. But because of that, I am stuck out here feeling as though I'm being victimized because of the situation. And I don't normally play the victim. In reality, I am being victimized in this situation. And you can see, as he just steps up, after they actually come for no reason at all, because nobody was warned, nobody said step back, nobody did anything like that. He didn't even give a warning saying step back or I'll be pepper spraying you. And he just starts pepper spraying people. The ones that are standing right there, just saying that, hey, it's an ADA dog, leave it alone, leave it alone. Angel being one of them, because the day prior, he was harassing Angel, and he does not like Angel, and tried to get him arrested for something else. So of course, first thing he did is he went for Angel, started spraying him and everybody he could. He has a vindication against us, and it's not okay. And I keep repeating the same thing for a reason. But really, I mean, you can see he literally, on the video, you see him literally spraying people, 17-year-olds, women, people that aren't even involved, just standing there, just sitting there, just anybody. And he's just like, as he, at will, spraying. Nobody's being aggressive. So why is anybody even being arrested or sprayed?
And who's that on the ground there?
That's Angel. That is Angel on the ground. The dog's owner actually gets arrested as well, but he doesn't fight him. He doesn't do anything. He says, okay, let's go,
Yeah.
So these are the types of things that on my UCARE page, that on Facebook, that I'm trying to expose. So this is the kind of stuff that you guys don't get to see on a constant basis that we do.
What time was that at?
It was about 8 o'clock actually, right on the almost.
And they say that you have to gather by 7 or whatever?
Yeah, 7. I mean, they came, we were already starting to get up, and before they even got there, and then, so we were already doing our thing. We're just staying out of the rain, etc. When it's raining like that, we have no place to go.
And that's under the Morrison Bridge?
Morrison Bridge, on this side of Nato.
On this side of
On the
Nato.
west side, the city side?
Yeah, on the city side of Nato.
So, what is your interpretation of what happened under the bridge yesterday?
Well, when there are confrontations, and we understand confrontations are going to happen, the police are really good at de-escalating and trying to bring things back. But from time to time, we understand that this is an adversarial relationship, and there are going to be confrontations. As we understand it, one of the police officers was bitten by a dog. Yes, I've been with them when that threat has happened before. I've been with them in Chapman Square when that threat has happened, and our police officers are fully aware of it. They work really, really hard to bring that stuff down, to de-escalate it. But as you know, it's an adversarial situation, and things are going to happen you can't account for. And that was one of the examples of things you just can't account for.
Now, on the video, it looks pretty clear to me that the officer actually reaches out and grabs the dog and then does something to make the dog yelp a lot. It doesn't look like the police officer is recoiling. It looks like the police officer is going for the dog.
How come?
From the video?
No, I mean, why would he go for the dog?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen this video, so I'm not sure I should comment on that, but if there's a reason that the officer went for the dog, if there's a logical reason why he did, I would have to ask him about that, but I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure if there's a reason.
Okay.
What if we showed it to you right now?
Let's see. So, I'm just going to reboot.
What did he say when you asked him?
Who?
The officer?
I
About why you reached for the dog?
I haven't been able to talk to him yet.
Oh.
Pete Simpson's in some sort of training thing.
I haven't talked to me today either. That's fine.
High speed scrubbing. Let's see. There's a there. It's a big file, so it's hard to find the exact spot that's come out.
Here's the thing, if you want to move it, you gotta get an opportunity to actually talk to us, because it might take a second to get, if they're gonna put it on the sidewalk to get it talked up,
So
it
what am I
might be
looking at?
necessary.
They are trying to get people to leave the sidewalk. The people are arguing that, well, you need to get out of the way so we can pick up our stuff, get off the sidewalk. And so there's this kind of this back and forth about how we're going to get our stuff off the sidewalk.
Do you hate the homeless?
And they're saying they're going to power wash, come through a power wash. And it kind of sets everybody off. And one's on top of the dog. So then it turns into pepper spraying and 2 people arrested, that type of thing.
Okay.
Can you tell what's going on?
Not from that.
Okay.
How about you?
It's hard to tell, but it looks like the police officer reaches out and grabs the dog,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the press release says the police officer was bit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the truth is there?
Not from that video, I can't tell.
So you guys moved everybody off of City Hall.
Yes.
And then they go to Morrison Bridge.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Isn't quite that linear. We started at one place. We started on 4th Avenue to see it said, you know, you can't live here. You can sleep at night in the city of Portland and you can protest in front of City Hall, but you can't live for a long period of time and put up long periods of things. So the police would come in and they'd say, we're going to post a note. You've got 3 days to move on. We'll come back. And if we see that you've been here for a long period of time, then you've created an abode, a house on the sidewalk or a park. And you can't do that in the city. So you need to move on. We'll store your things for 30 days. You can come get your things, or you can take your things with you if you'd like. So some of the folks there moved to the Chapman Park. Some of the people moved to Terry Shrunk Plaza. Some of the folks moved on. Some of the folks, when that was happening, they were working with some of the social service agencies who said, yes, I'm interested in what other social services are out there. I want to talk about what the city offers. I want to talk about what R2D2 offers. So a lot of people dispersed in different ways. Some of them went to the place that you said.
So it seems like this is just going to keep happening. Is there a long-term solution for any of this?
There are a few long-term solutions. In Oregon law, you have very limited control of what you can do for, say, sidewalks. There are certain things you can and cannot do. For instance, in a lot of cities in America, you can't sleep at night on sidewalks. In Portland, you can. And there's case law, and the Supreme Court's ruled on that. It is what it is. We can ask the legislature to try and change that. Now, as you know, there was a bill in the 2013 session that would have given cities a little bit more control over the sidewalks. That bill didn't go anywhere. It wasn't our bill anyway, but nonetheless, it didn't go anywhere. Can we go back and try that bill again in 2014? Possibly, but as you know, that's the short session, the even-numbered year, and you can only really do budget stuff that year. Can we go back in 2015? Possibly. Yeah, it's entirely possible. And in fact, the mayor met some of the members of the Senate committee that would look at such a bill, and actually did a tour of Old Town Chinatown and showed them some of our sidewalk issues to maybe possibly queue up exactly that kind of bill. Now, that's sidewalk management. If the question is, where do we put our 1,700 estimated homeless every night? That's a much bigger question and a great question. Now Commissioner Saltzman's working on a plan to try and provide some more money for short-term housing, for more shelters. We need women's shelters, we need family shelters, we need interior shelters as well as exterior shelters for people who have dogs and don't want to be indoors. Shelters are a short-term answer. If you're looking for a long-term solution, I think it's probably more affordable housing, more rental assistance, and then going to the legislature and finding out if there could be some more clarity on exactly what can and cannot be done on our sidewalks.
You know, I think the taxpayers are frustrated that people are camping at City Hall. The mayor says, we're going to take care of this, moves people out. It just seems like you just keep moving the problem.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. We can't say we want all of you to leave Portland. Can't do that. So that would be unconstitutional, so we'll never do that. So what we have been doing is saying to folks, we will try and find you some more housing. Now, there is an insufficient amount of shelters and housing in Portland, as there is in every other city in America. That's a problem. So when we say you can't stay here, we don't always get to say, but go here, and we have rental assistance for you. Rental assistance is filled. Go here, and we have shelters for you. A lot of the shelters are filled and have waiting lists. This is a massive problem. You've exactly hit on the fact that we can't say you must leave town, but we also can't say, absolutely, we have lots and lots of empty affordable housing just waiting for you. We are in that conundrum. Now, the housing commissioner is going to propose a lot more money spent on affordable housing. As you know, we got a federal grant of $15 million this year to do that. The Housing Commission in 2012 found housing for 1,600 people. This year we have 1,700 people sleeping on the streets. It's a massive problem, and it's a problem every city in America has. But you've got that. You hit on the fact that no one thing that the mayor did to try and directly address the sidewalk issue is the same as a long-term solution for the housing problem. You are completely correct.
It seems like you put the police officers in a weird spot. They're trying to control a situation that quickly gets out of control. Now, what are they supposed to do?
Our police officers are amazingly well trained, and they do a very good job of de-escalating. I've stood with them when they want to talk to people and say you can't stay on the sidewalks. And the thing for a guy like me and a guy like you to remember is the grand majority of people do not have violent confrontational instincts when they see the police officers. The grand majority say, I understand the situation. I'm homeless. I have no other place to be. But I hear what you're saying, officer. But there are those confrontations, and when they happen, the de-escalation is one of the things that the training police officers have been going through to try and ratchet things down. It's one of the reasons we put up the signage days in advance to say, we are going to be coming through and saying you can't be here. You know, that wasn't, we didn't invent that. That was part of the settlement that we got with the court. It says we're going to be doing it this way. So of course we're matching the settlement. We don't want to take too much credit here. The courts have told us how to do it, so we do it that way. But that de-escalation is absolutely part of it.
Anything we're missing?
No, other than you've hit it exactly when you say that there is a sidewalk issue and there's a housing issue, and those things are different. One of them is, is there a legal way a person can live on our sidewalks? And the other is, can a city provide enough short-term, medium-term, long-term housing for its community? Right now, we do not. Now, the Housing Commissioner is aware of that. We're going to see if we can't find some extra money and see if we can find a way to do it. But as we pour more money into it, will that solve the problem? Do we think that a year from now we'll have no homeless? No. Do we think that 5 years from now we'll have no homeless? No. It is an ongoing problem. We're completely aware of it. And you hit on what the thing is, that those two separate issues.
Thank you.